In 2018, Platzi won the award as the best education startup in the world. This happened at an event called ASU GSV, which is like Arizona State University Global Silicon Valley. It's the biggest education event in the United States. And the way that it happened was like this.
And our first lucky presenter, I know, Freddie, come on, you're gonna rock it.
The mission that we have is that we want to transform developing countries. We want to take them from economies that are based on what's on the ground, agriculture, mining, manufacturing, and make them into digital economies that actually leverage the human talent of their nations.
What's the subscription cost? And is this in place at most schools for these?
We try to keep it under $1 per day, and we adapt to the country.
The winner of the 2018 ASU Venture Competition, we have Platzi!
But it's not the only time that I have ever talked in English. The way that Platzi pitches are done are always in English. When we raise money in Silicon Valley, we did it in English. And we also started a channel at YouTube, youtube.com/Platzi team, where we record some videos. We did, for example, a kind of popular video comparing the Surface Book with the MacBook Pro with Touch Bar. It got 25,000 views around the world, mostly from people in the United States. So I was actually trying to test if I could speak both online and offline to a US audience and how that will react. Check it out. And you also have all the tools needed to use Safari, obviously. In iTunes, you can modify the way that a song works, and you can also see a small preview of the song that you're playing right now. But the most infuriating thing is when you go to the terminal. The lack of escape button makes using editors like Vim almost impossible. Why are we afraid of speaking in a different language? It's obvious, because when we talk in a language where we're not used to talk, it's harder. We are more insecure. The first class on this course was on how to lose the fear that you have to speak in public. That fear is gonna come 10 times harder when you're talking in a different language. Here at Platzi, you will find courses that will improve your English. If you have the basics on how to understand English, if you don't need the subtitles that are right here, you should take that course on how to speak and read and write technical English for professionals. However, I also understand that going from reading to actually talking in public is a huge step. In fact, a lot of people will tell you, I actually can read English perfectly, I just don't speak it. That is, sadly, a lie. If you cannot speak a language, you don't really talk or read or write in that language. What you're trying to say is that you actually have some basics on the language, but your level is very low. And sadly, not speaking a new language, not being able to overcome the fear of talking to somebody else in a language that you're learning is the main reason why you don't advance, is the main reason why you don't get better at this new language. What are you afraid of? You're probably worried that you're going to use the wrong word, or that you're going to pick a verb that doesn't go there, that you will probably confuse the future with the past tense, that you will probably say something that sounds stupid. The truth is far from that. In most universities in the United States, the people that are teaching the classes are not professors that were born in the US, are not the kind of people whose English was their first language. You can absolutely find people from India, from China, from Colombia, from Spain, from Latin America, from anywhere in the world, teaching extremely complex topics on science, engineering, literature, business, technology, mathematics, anything you can imagine. Because the accents, the way that we teach, the way that we talk, is not as important as the message. Once you get in the flow, nobody cares. Once you are explaining or sharing something that matters, nobody cares. Once you are with certainty explaining something with preparation, sharing what you know, nobody cares the way that you talk. Everybody has an accent. Everybody has a unique way in which they talk, both in their native language and in a foreign language. You cannot help it. And you shouldn't be worried about that you cannot change. Even though there are ways to change your accent, and there are therapists that are specialized in improving your accent in a different language. The truth is that as long as people understand what you are saying, and what you're saying is interesting, you're fine. There's something, however, that you should be doing, which is the single biggest mistake that people make while they're trying to do a talk, a conference, while they're trying to speak in public in a different language than their native language. Talk slowly. Talk slowly to the point that it's uncomfortable to you, to the point that you feel kind of awkward, to the point that you don't really like to speak this low. The reason for this is that when you are speaking in a language different to the one that you are used to, different to your native language, you try to speak really fast with the hope that people are going to be so confused that they're not going to notice your mistakes. Instead of saying, "Excuse me, where is the bathroom?" you may say, "Excuse me, where's the bathroom?" Because your idea, a stupid idea, but your idea, is that as long as you speak really fast, no one is going to notice that you actually don't know the language. When you talk in a different language, especially for the first time, it's worth to write it down. It's worth to create a script. But if you can avoid it, don't follow the script with precision. You don't have to say the exact same words that you wrote down. You only need that script as a mental guide for when you have to talk in front of an audience. As long as you speak slow and your message is clear, even if you make mistakes, people are going to forgive you, and you're going to be able to actually teach something that is really important. Because remember, you should never apologize for your mistakes. What's important is that you keep people in the flow. What's important is your message. They don't care if you said he instead of she. They don't care if you said teached instead of taught. The only thing that they care is your message. And as you practice, you will get better. The issue is that because of these fears, you don't practice. And you need to overcome this fear. Because if you don't practice, you will not get better.